stop scrolling. What I'm about to tell you sounds impossible, but I have proof. A homeless man sleeping under a bridge was given the keys to an abandoned house by a dying stranger. Inside that house, hidden in a closet, he found something that would test everything he believed about right and wrong. By the end of this video, you'll question what you would do in his situation. And trust me, the answer isn't as simple as you think. His name is Marcus Hayes. And this is his story. But before I tell you what he found in that house, you need to understand how a good man ends up on the streets. Because Marcus wasn't always homeless. 3 years ago, he had a job, a family, and dreams. Watch what happened next. Marcus Hayes was 34 years old when his life collapsed. He'd been working as a maintenance technician at a hotel in Chicago. Decent job. $38,000 a year. Married to his high school sweetheart, Lisa. 2 kids, Joshua, age 8, and Emma, age 5. They lived in a small apartment in South Side. Nothing fancy, but it was theirs. Then 2020 hit. COVID shut down the hotel. Marcus got laid off along with 200 other employees. The unemployment checks helped for a while, but they ran out. Savings disappeared. Bills piled up. Arguments with Lisa became daily. The stress of being broke, of not being able to provide, it poisoned everything. Lisa left in September 2020. Took the kids to her sister's place in Indiana. Marcus didn't blame her. What could he offer? Empty promises and unpaid rent? She needed stability, and he couldn't give it. Marcus tried everything. Applied to hundreds of jobs. But with everyone desperate for work, competition was brutal. No car, no permanent address, no clean clothes for interviews. The system kept pushing him down. 3 months after Lisa left, Marcus got evicted. He spent his first night on the street in December 2020. That was 3 years ago. Now it's December 2023. Marcus is 37 but looks 50. His spot is under the I-290 overpass near Ashland Avenue. He panhandles during the day, makes maybe $15 if he's lucky. Sleeps under that bridge at night, trying not to freeze to death when winter comes. People walk past him every day like he's invisible. And honestly, that's the worst part. Not the hunger. Not the cold. The invisibility. Being treated like you don't exist. Like you're not even human. But on December 8th, 2023, someone finally saw Marcus. And that changed everything. It was a Friday afternoon. Cold. Gray. The kind of Chicago winter day that cuts through every layer you're wearing. Marcus was at his usual corner with his cardboard sign, homeless. Hungry. God bless. A black BMW pulled up to the red light. Marcus expected nothing. Rich people in nice cars rarely helped. They usually looked away, uncomfortable with being reminded that poverty exists, but the window rolled down. An elderly white man, maybe 70, looked directly at Marcus. "Young man, when's the last time you ate?" Marcus was caught off guard. "Yesterday morning, sir." "Get in. Let me buy you lunch." Marcus hesitated. This could be dangerous. But he was so hungry, and something about the man's eyes seemed genuine. Sad, even. Marcus got in the car. They drove to a diner. The man introduced himself as Dr. William Chen, a retired physician. They sat in a booth, and William ordered food for both of them. Real food. Hot soup, sandwiches, coffee. Marcus tried not to cry as he ate. "I'm dying," William said suddenly. "Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. 3 months, maybe 4. I've been driving around the city thinking about my life. About what matters. I own property in Chicago. Buildings I bought decades ago as investments. Most of them are empty now. Abandoned. Worthless in this economy. He pulled out his phone, showed Marcus a photo. A small house. Boarded windows. Overgrown yard. This one's on Kedzie Avenue. West Side. Been empty for 8 years. The neighborhood's rough, property's worthless. I've been paying taxes on it for nothing. My kids don't want it. They live in California, haven't set foot in Chicago in 15 years. Marcus didn't understand why this man was telling him this. I want to give it to you, William said. The house. Free and clear. No mortgage, no strings. I'll have my lawyer handle the paperwork. All you need is an ID. Marcus thought he was being pranked. Or that William was senile. Sir, why would you do that? William's eyes filled with tears. Because I spent my whole life accumulating things I don't need while people like you suffer. And because when I'm gone in 3 months, that house gets bulldozed anyway. At least this way, someone who needs it gets a roof over their head. Even if it's a broken roof. Marcus couldn't speak. Couldn't process what he was hearing. A stranger, someone he'd met 20 minutes ago, was giving him a house. Meet me here Monday at noon, William said. Bring your ID. We'll make it legal. The house is yours, Marcus. Do something good with it. Marcus barely slept that weekend. He kept thinking it was a dream. That Monday would come and William wouldn't show up. That this was just cruel hope, but Monday came. William was there. With a lawyer. With documents. Marcus signed papers with shaking hands. The lawyer notarized everything. And just like that, Marcus Hayes, a homeless man with $12 in his pocket, owned a house. William handed him the keys. 2 old brass keys on a ring. The address is 4156 South Kedzie. The house hasn't been opened since 2015. I honestly don't know what condition it's in. Could be destroyed inside. Could have squatters. Be careful. Thank you, Marcus whispered. I don't know how to thank you. William smiled sadly. Just survive, Marcus. That's thanks enough. That afternoon, Marcus took the bus to Kedzie Avenue. The neighborhood was rough. Abandoned buildings. Boarded houses. Burned-out cars. But Marcus didn't care. This was his neighborhood now. His street. His house. 4156 South Kedzie was a small bungalow. Single story. Maybe 900 square feet. The siding was rotting. The porch was sagging. The yard was a jumble of weeds. Plywood covered all the windows. It looked condemned. It looked haunted, but it was his. All his. Marcus walked up the broken sidewalk, climbed the creaky porch steps, and put the key in the lock. His hands were shaking so badly he could barely turn it. Click. The door opened. Stale air rushed out. The smell of abandonment. Of time frozen. Marcus stepped inside and closed the door behind him. For the first time in 3 years, Marcus Hayes was inside. He had walls. A roof. A door he could lock. He stood in the dark entryway of his house and sobbed. Because hope, real hope, is overwhelming when you've lived without it for so long, but Marcus had no idea what he was about to find in this house. No idea that hidden in one of the bedrooms was something that would change his life forever. And force him to make the hardest decision he'd ever faced. Stay with me. Before I tell you what Marcus found, I need you to understand something. When you're homeless, you develop instincts. You notice things. Details others miss. And when Marcus entered that house, something felt off. Not dangerous. Just present. Like someone had left something behind. Something important, he was right. But first, he had to explore his new home. And what he found in the first 3 rooms was already unbelievable. Marcus pulled out his phone, the cheap prepaid one he'd managed to keep charged at the library. He used its flashlight to explore. The electricity was shut off, obviously. No power for 8 years, the house was frozen in time. The living room still had furniture. A couch covered in dust an inch thick. A coffee table. A TV from the early 2000s. Pictures on the walls, family photos of people Marcus didn't know. A black family. Parents, kids, grandkids. All smiling from frames that time had forgotten. The kitchen was the same. Dishes still in the cabinets. Pots and pans still on the stove. A calendar on the wall stopped at March 2015. Whoever lived here had left everything behind. Or died and been forgotten. Marcus moved through the house carefully. The bathroom had towels on racks. Soap dried to stone in the dish. A toothbrush holder with 2 toothbrushes still standing like soldiers. 2 bedrooms. Small ones. The first had a bed with sheets still on it. A dresser. Clothes hanging in the closet, men's clothes from the 2000s. Work shirts. Jeans. All outdated, all abandoned. The second bedroom was set up as an office. A desk. Filing cabinets. Boxes stacked in the corner. This room felt different. More personal. More important, Marcus opened the desk drawers. Old bills. Bank statements from 2014 and 2015. All addressed to Raymond Carter, 4156 South Kedzie Avenue. So that was the previous owner. Raymond Carter. Marcus found Raymond's obituary in one of the drawers. A printout from a funeral home website. Raymond James Carter, age 67, died March 15, 2015. Survived by no immediate family. Services held at Morton Grove Memorial Chapel. No family. That explained why everything was still here. Raymond died, and nobody came to claim his things. The house went to the city, eventually got auctioned, and William bought it. And now Marcus owned it, along with everything inside. Including Raymond's entire life, frozen in these rooms. Marcus felt a strange connection to Raymond. Both of them alone. Both forgotten by the world. Except Raymond had died in this house, and Marcus was getting a chance to live in it. He spent his first night on that dusty couch, wrapped in his old blanket. The house was cold, no heat without electricity, but it was warmer than the bridge. And safer. And the next morning, Marcus decided to clean. To make this place livable. He started with the office bedroom. Clearing out old papers. Organizing. Making space for his own life. That's when he found it. The thing that would change everything. In the office closet, behind boxes of old tax returns, Marcus found a safe. Not a big one. A small fireproof safe, maybe 2 feet by 1 foot. The kind you keep important documents in. Marcus pulled it out. It was heavy. Locked. There was a combination dial and a keyhole. He had neither the combination nor the key, but Marcus had been on the streets for 3 years. He'd learned things. He found a screwdriver in Raymond's desk and spent an hour working on the lock. It wasn't sophisticated security, just a cheap residential safe from Home Depot. Eventually, with patience and force, the lock broke, the safe opened. Inside was a metal box. And inside that box were bundles. Bundles wrapped in plastic. Marcus pulled out the first one. Money. Cash. $100 bills wrapped in plastic and rubber bands. Marcus's heart stopped. He pulled out another bundle. More cash. Another. Another. The safe was full of them. He counted 40 bundles. Each bundle contained $50 bills. That's $5,000 per bundle. 40 bundles times $5,000 equals $200,000 in cash, hidden in a safe, in a house that had been abandoned for 8 years, that now legally belonged to Marcus. His hands were shaking so badly he dropped one of the bundles. Money scattered across the floor. Real money. More money than Marcus had ever seen in his entire life. But there was more in the safe. Under the money, Marcus found a letter. Handwritten on yellow legal paper. He unfolded it and read, "My name is Raymond Carter. If you're reading this, I'm dead. I have no family. No one to leave this money to. So I'm leaving it to whoever finds it. This money is my life savings. I worked for the Chicago Transit Authority for 40 years. I saved every penny I could. I never married. Never had kids. Never spent money on anything except bills and groceries. I saved because I thought I'd need it someday. For retirement. For emergencies. But now I'm dying of cancer, and I realize I wasted my life. I saved money instead of living. And now I have $200,000 in 6 months to live. What's the point? So here's my gift to whoever finds this. If you're homeless, if you're desperate, if you need this money to survive, take it. It's yours. But I have one request. Don't make my mistake. Don't just hoard it. Don't just survive with it. Live with it. Do something good. Help people. Experience joy. Because I'm dying at 67 with $200,000 in a safe and 0 memories worth keeping. Don't be me." Raymond Carter, December 2014. Marcus read the letter 3 times. Then he looked at the money spread across the floor. $200,000. Enough to change his life completely. Enough to get an apartment, a car, new clothes. Enough to find Lisa and the kids. Enough to start over properly, but Raymond's words echoed in his head. Do something good. Help people. Marcus Hayes sat on the floor of that office, surrounded by more money than he'd ever dreamed of having, and faced the biggest choice of his life. Keep it all? Give it away? Something in between. What would you do? Seriously. If you were homeless and found $200,000, what would you do? Hold that thought. Because Marcus's decision is about to shock you. Marcus didn't touch the money for 3 days. He left it exactly where it was. Locked himself in the house and thought. Really thought he could take all $200,000 and disappear. Go to a different city. Start completely fresh. Nobody knew he had this money. Not William Chen. Not the lawyer. Nobody. It was legally his anyway. The house and everything in it belonged to him. He could take some of it. Enough to stabilize himself. Get back on his feet. Save the rest for emergencies. Or he could do what Raymond asked. Use it to help people. But help who? How? Marcus was homeless 3 days ago. What did he know about helping anyone? On the 4th day, Marcus made his decision. And it wasn't what you'd expect. He decided to keep $50,000 for himself. That's it. 1/4 of the money. With that, he could get the utilities turned on in the house. Buy basic furniture. Get clean clothes. Get a phone. Fix his teeth. Get a car. Get back into the workforce. The remaining $150,000? Marcus was going to give it away. But not randomly. Not stupidly. He had a plan. Marcus spent the next week researching. He went to the library every day. Used their computers. Learned everything he could about helping the homeless. About shelters. About organizations. About what actually works, he found 3 organizations in Chicago doing real work. Shelters that actually helped people instead of just warehousing them. Job training programs. Mental health services. Organizations that treated homeless people like humans. Marcus decided to donate $50,000 to each organization. Anonymously. Through a lawyer. No press. No publicity. Just 3 checks to 3 organizations that were actually making a difference, because Raymond was right. Hoarding money didn't matter. Living mattered. Helping mattered. And Marcus had been on the streets. He knew what homeless people needed. They needed dignity. They needed opportunity. They needed to be seen. That if Marcus could help provide that with Raymond's money, then maybe, just maybe, his 3 years on the streets meant something. Maybe he could turn his suffering into purpose, but first, he had to survive himself. And with his $50,000, Marcus was about to completely transform his life. And by the end of this video, you'll see how his decision to give away $150,000 came back to him in ways he never imagined. Here's where Marcus's story becomes incredible. Not because of the money, but because of what he did with it. And how the universe responded. Because when you do good in the world has a funny way of doing good back. Stay with me. The next 8 minutes will restore your faith in humanity. With his $50,000, Marcus moved fast. First, utilities. He called the electric company, paid the deposit and back fees, $800. Power came on for the first time in 8 years. Marcus flipped a light switch and almost cried when the lights came on. Water and gas, another $600 for deposits and fees. Now he had heat. Had running water. Could take a hot shower for the first time in 3 years. That first shower, Marcus stood under the hot water for 30 minutes, just crying. Washing away 3 years of street dirt. 3 years of shame. 3 years of feeling like garbage. That he bought clothes. Not expensive clothes. Just clean ones. Jeans. T-shirts. A winter coat that wasn't torn. Shoes without holes. Total, $400. He fixed his teeth. Found a dental school that did work cheap. They fixed 2 broken teeth and cleaned the rest. Cost, $1,200. When Marcus saw himself smile in the mirror, really smile, he looked like a different person. He bought a used car. 2008 Honda Civic with 140,000 miles. Cost, $3,500. Not pretty, but it ran. And with a car, Marcus could get a real job. He spent $2,000 on basic furniture. Bed. Table. Chairs. Nothing fancy. But now his house felt like a home. The rest, about $42,000, he kept as emergency savings. Because Marcus knew how fast life could go wrong. He'd lived it.by February 2024, 2 months after finding Raymond's money, Marcus had transformed. He had a house. Had utilities. Had clean clothes. Had a car. Had his dignity back. Now he needed a job. He applied everywhere. And because he finally had an address, a phone, a car, and clean clothes, he started getting interviews. A warehouse hired him. $18 an hour. Full-time. Benefits after 90 days. It wasn't glamorous. But it was honest work. And Marcus was grateful. For the first time in 3 years, Marcus Hayes was no longer homeless. He was housed. Employed. Stable. And it was all because of 2 men he'd never expected to meet. William Chen, who gave him a house. And Raymond Carter, who left him money and a message about living meaningfully. Marcus wanted to honor both of them. And he was about to do exactly that. In March 2024, Marcus made the three anonymous donations: $50,000 to Chicago Hope Shelter, $50,000 to New Start Job Training, $50,000 to Street Medicine Chicago. A lawyer handled everything. The organizations received the money but didn't know it came from Marcus, but Marcus didn't stop there. He started volunteering. Every Saturday, Marcus spent 4 hours at Chicago Hope Shelter, serving food, talking to residents, sharing his story when people asked. "I was sleeping under the I-290 overpass 4 months ago," Marcus would tell them. "If I can get off the streets, you can too. I'm not special. I just got lucky. But I want to help you get lucky too." His story spread. Local news heard about it. Former homeless man donates $150,000 to homeless services. The story went viral. Reporters wanted to interview Marcus. He agreed to one interview. Just one. He told them everything. About William Chen. About Raymond Carter. About finding the money and choosing to give most of it away. "I kept enough to survive," Marcus explained. "But I didn't need $200,000. Nobody needs that much when people are dying on the streets." Raymond Carter worked his whole life and died with regrets. "I'm not doing that. I'm living. And part of living is helping others live too." The interview aired in April. And something unexpected happened. People started reaching out, offering Marcus opportunities. A property management company saw the interview and offered him a job. Better pay, $25 an hour, managing affordable housing properties. It was perfect. Marcus knew what homeless people needed because he'd been one. William Chen's family reached out. William had died in February, and his children had seen the interview. "Our father was right about you," they wrote. "You did something good with what he gave you. Thank you for honoring his last wish." But the biggest surprise came in May. Marcus received a letter from Raymond Carter's estate lawyer. Apparently, Raymond had a distant cousin who'd inherited everything when Raymond died. The cousin never wanted the house or Raymond's belongings. But when she heard Marcus's story on the news, she sent a message: "Raymond would be proud of you. He died thinking his life meant nothing. But you proved his life mattered. You used his gift exactly how he hoped. Thank you for giving meaning to his death." Marcus cried when he read that letter, because he realized something profound. His 3 years on the streets hadn't been wasted. They prepared him for this. To receive a gift with humility. To use it wisely. To help others who were suffering like he'd suffered. In June 2024, Marcus did something he'd been terrified to do. He called Lisa, his ex-wife, the mother of his children, the woman he hadn't spoken to in 3 years. "Lisa? It's Marcus." Silence. Then, "Marcus? Oh my God. Marcus, are you okay? Where are you?" "I'm in Chicago." "Lisa, I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I want to see the kids. I want them to know I didn't abandon them. That I was just lost. But I'm found now." Lisa was crying. "Marcus, I thought you were dead. I tried to find you. We all did. But you just disappeared. I was homeless, Lisa. For 3 years. I didn't want you to see me like that. Didn't want the kids to see me like that." Oh, Marcus, he told her everything. About the streets. About William. About Raymond. About the money and the choice he made. About getting back on his feet. "I have a house now," Marcus said. "And a job. And I'm stable. I'm not asking to get back together. I know too much has happened. But please, let me see Joshua and Emma. Let me be their father again. 2 weeks later, Lisa drove from Indiana to Chicago with the kids. Joshua was 11 now. Emma was 8. They barely remembered their father. But when Marcus opened his door and saw them, he fell to his knees. "Dad?" Joshua said uncertainly. "Yeah, buddy. It's me. It's Dad." They hugged. All of them. Marcus, Lisa, Joshua, Emma. Standing in the living room of the house that had saved Marcus's life. Crying. Healing. Starting over, Lisa stayed for 2 hours. Let the kids explore Marcus's house. Let them see their father had really changed. Before leaving, she pulled Marcus aside. "I'm proud of you," she said. "Not many people could survive what you survived. And even fewer would give away $150,000 to help others. The kids are lucky to have you as a father." "Can I see them again?" Marcus asked. "Every other weekend," Lisa said. "Starting next Saturday." Marcus is now a father again. Joshua and Emma visit twice a month. Stay in their own bedrooms in Marcus's house. And slowly, carefully, they're rebuilding what was broken. Today, Marcus Hayes is 38 years old. He lives in the house at 4156 South Kedzie. The house that was falling apart is now a home. Painted. Repaired. Filled with life and laughter when his kids visit. He works at the property management company. Makes good money. Has health insurance. A retirement account. The things most people take for granted, but Marcus never will. He still volunteers every Saturday at Chicago Hope Shelter. Still talks to people on the streets. Still shares his story with anyone who'll listen, and in his living room, Marcus has 3 photos on the wall. First, a photo of William Chen, taken from William's obituary. The man who gave him a house when he had nothing. Second, a photo of Raymond Carter, also from an obituary. The man whose money and message changed his life. Third, a photo of himself from December 2023. Homeless. Dirty. Broken. To remind him where he came from, Marcus tells everyone who visits, "I was invisible. Society threw me away. But 2 men who owed me nothing gave me everything. William gave me shelter. Raymond gave me money and a mission. And they both taught me that what you do with what you're given matters more than what you're given." If you're struggling right now, Marcus says, if you're homeless, if you think your life is over, listen to me. It's not over. Help exists. Hope exists. But you have to accept it when it comes. And when you get back on your feet, you have to help the next person. That's how we survive. That's how we build something that matters. Marcus Hayes was given an abandoned house. Inside, he found $200,000. He could have kept it all. Could have disappeared. Could have lived like a king. Instead, he gave away $150,000 and kept just enough to survive, and because of that choice, he got his life back. His children back. His purpose back. Sometimes the greatest wealth isn't money. It's knowing who you are and what you stand for. Marcus learned that lesson on the streets. And he's living it every single day. If you found $200,000, would you keep it all or give some away? Be honest in the comments. This isn't about judging. It's about understanding ourselves. If this story moved you, subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone who needs hope. Because Marcus's story proves that no matter how far you fall, you can rise again. And the best way to save your life is to help save someone else's. Thanks for watching. And remember, you're never invisible. You always matter. Keep fighting.